how important your frontal lobe is to you prior to you attending any of these mental workouts. Has anybody said, well, the frontal lobe? Now, let me tell you something. The rest of that don't matter, but that frontal lobe, oh yeah, your frontal lobe. So my question is, has anyone ever expressed the importance of your frontal lobe to you prior to now? I know I didn't receive it. I went to school for 23 years, and it was never in military training, corporate training, all of that. Not even, and I even have two books, Brain Rules and Biology, and it really didn't discuss it in those books. So here we are. Now, what is the function of the frontal lobe? Number one, it's reasoning. So simple and complex processing of information. Is to be well, sweetie. Logic, reason, judgment, decision making, and creativity. All of that is happening in the frontal lobe. So it's simple and complex processing of information. So any information coming in, simple and complex, is being processed in the frontal lobe. It's your logic. So obviously, Raphael didn't use logic, reason, judgment, made a poor decision, and the post wasn't even that creative. So an epic fail in in his choices this morning. Okay. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I got it, Darnetta. Okay. So again, we have yet another example of people this morning. Okay. Another example of people not using their frontal lobes this morning, living in a hijacked amygdala state, or as I like to refer to it now, acute amygdala-itis. Good morning, Lola. Welcome this morning. And so the reasoning that these two people have demonstrated this morning is that their frontal lobe is not frontal lobeling. Okay, that's what's actually taking place. And we will not be engaging in piffleness today. So the next function is social understanding. It controls your understanding of social norms and helps determine what you should and shouldn't say or do. So clearly, the two people that started this morning are not a part of social norms, and that's what you should and should not say. Read the room and know what environment that you are in. So clearly, those two people decided to be unaccountable today and not exercise the full totality of their frontal lobe. And so I use my executive function to remove them from this very much informed learning environment. The next thing is responsible for or functions with is the executive function. And as I mentioned, that's self-control, which both of them demonstrated that they did not have, and inhibition control, which both of them demonstrated that they did not have this morning. The attention span and also your working memory. And again, your working memory is how you problem solve, how you navigate through your day, how you take information from your long-term memory and put it into your short-term memory. And it's basically your day-to-day operations, how you navigate everything that you do day in and day out is inside of the working memory. The function also is voluntary muscle movements, so intentional movements, such as moving your hand to pick up something, moving your legs to stand up and walk. Your frontal lobe also contains the brain area that controls your muscle use for speaking. So everything that I'm saying to you right now is actually coming from my frontal lobe. So me making all of this noise and everything that you hear vocally, that's what's happening. It's also responsible for learning and recalling info. So this is your brain's ability to process and learn new information for later use. It also helps you retrieve information for later use as well. So that's why you're always bringing in new information, because you're increasing your working memory. That's why ABLing, always be learning, so that you can have new information to work with. I did 2 other lives yesterday. Can't remember if I said it on TikTok or if I said it on Instagram, but I am always bringing in new information. That process is called the beginner's brain. So there should never be a point in your life until you're no longer here where you're not a novice at